My girlfriend and I were in our first serious relationship. We were each other's first love and first sexual partner. We're both medical students, studying outside of the US, and for the most part, our relationship had been very stable and fulfilling. We hardly fought, and I genuinely believed we were happy. About a year ago, before I went on a trip, she made a surprising comment. She told me that if I happened to meet someone, I could be with them because it was a rare opportunity. This led to a serious discussion, where I made it clear I had no interest in being in an open relationship. I told her that if she ever felt the need for that kind of arrangement, we would have to end things. She apologized and admitted she said it without thinking, assuring me it was a mistake. After that, things returned to normal between us, though looking back, I now see that moment as an early warning sign. Part of our studies involves rotating through rural hospitals for 6 weeks at a time. These rotations are notorious for putting pressure on relationships, especially because many of the doctors in those areas have a reputation for getting involved with students. While the students are adults, there's an undeniable power imbalance, and the culture around it is troublingly normalized. When my girlfriend started her rural rotation, the first couple of weeks went smoothly. We saw each other every weekend, and everything seemed fine. But then she told me she had dinner with some of the doctors and ended up staying late, talking one-on-one with one of them. She admitted it looked questionable, especially given the stories surrounding those environments, but insisted nothing happened and said she felt a little ashamed for how it might appear. I told her I didn't think she had crossed a line yet, but that it was definitely pushing boundaries and she should be more careful. Soon after, she said the same doctor invited her to go jogging alone with him, and she agreed. I asked why she would even consider doing that, knowing full well the kind of rumors and reputations those situations carry. She claimed she just wanted someone to hang out with and that if he made any moves, she would make it clear she wasn't interested and keep her distance. The next day, she told me they didn't end up jogging because it rained. I told her honestly that I was uncomfortable with how close she seemed to be getting to this other guy, the doctor. She agreed with me at the time and said she had taken time to reflect on her actions. She admitted she found him attractive but also recognized that pursuing anything with him would be risky. She said his intentions weren't completely obvious, but if he did make a move, she'd feel flattered and it would boost her self-esteem. Given everything that was going on, I brought up a conversation we'd had in the past about open relationships. She said she'd thought about it more and found the idea intriguing, something she might want to try one day. But I was clear with her, I would never be okay with that. She responded by saying she understood, wouldn't ask for it again, and that it was just a personal fantasy, nothing more. Fast forward a few days, and we meet up again. She says we need to talk. That's when she tells me the doctor is now openly flirting with her and making his intentions clear. He wants to sleep with her. And she tells me she wants that too. She said the situation she was in, working in a rural area, away from everything, made it feel like the perfect time to try something new. She insisted it wasn't such a big deal, just that she felt drawn to him, that it was rare for her to feel desired by someone new, and she wanted to experience something different. I told her plainly that I believed she was crossing a line, that she kept pushing boundaries we had set, and I didn't feel okay with it. I asked her directly if she was really so determined to go through with it that she felt she needed to ask again. She said no, that we could just go back to how things were and she wouldn't pursue anything further. She said she loved me and wanted to stay together. But the next day, we talked again. By then, I was already starting to think the relationship might be over. She once more brought up how much she wanted to sleep with the doctor and how important it felt to her, not knowing when she'd have another chance like that. Later that day, I went over to her place. She was home for the weekend, and I ended the relationship. She was furious. She accused me of ending things over something trivial, of not fighting hard enough for us. She said I couldn't handle the idea of her being attracted to someone else, even though she claimed she had decided to turn him down and stay committed. She called me names and made it sound like I had thrown away something valuable over a fleeting issue. But from my point of view, something had shifted. Even if she hadn't acted on her feelings, the fact that she kept bringing it up, that she seriously considered it, made it clear to me that the connection between us had changed. She still had 3 weeks left in that place, and the desire didn't seem to be going away. I couldn't ignore it anymore. She had such a strong desire to be with him physically that it overwhelmed everything. Even if they didn't actually sleep together, I can't imagine being with someone who has to suppress what they truly want just to stay in a relationship with me. I suspect they probably did sleep together on that rainy day when they couldn't go running. That's when I knew I had to walk away. If it wasn't this guy, it would eventually be someone else. The way it all happened so suddenly just broke me. What's strange is how often these things seem to happen. Female students going to rural internships and ending up involved with doctors there. It's not like they are sleeping with everyone, but I've heard plenty of stories about these hookups between students and doctors during those placements. Some of her own friends had similar experiences. I'm sure guys did too, not just the women. She basically laid out her desire to cheat. She claimed she only wanted to talk about opening the relationship and that I overreacted, saying I ended things too easily and didn't even try to work through it. She thought it was a small issue. But how can you call it a small issue when someone is entertaining the idea of being with other people? There's barely any structure or oversight in these placements here. It happened in Colombia, and unfortunately, stuff like this is pretty normal in our system. Things that would be serious HR violations elsewhere are just shrugged off here. To be fair, I've even heard similar stories from students in rural programs in the UK. So yeah, I feel confident I did the right thing by ending it. She'll probably reach out once her 6-week rotation in that remote town is over. But I'm not going to respond. Let her deal with her own consequences. From the moment she even brought up the idea of being with others, that should have been enough of a red flag. Thanks to those who offered support and clarity. Your perspectives helped me see that I didn't overreact. I was actually too patient. I should have ended things the moment she started hinting at this. At the time, I doubted myself. When she looked me in the eyes and accused me of giving up too easily, of not even trying to understand her, it made me hesitate. I even started believing maybe I had made a mistake. But not anymore. Love really does cloud your judgment. I see everything more clearly now, and I'm moving forward without regret. Take care.